Hi, Tim.
Hey, what's up, man?
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, I'm good. Thanks for doing this, man. I'm super excited.
Of course. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect. I was just checking to
Awesome.
make sure my cam I'm recording this with an external cam. If that's cool, I'll send you that video.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Perfect.
Sounds
I
good.
was just gonna after we finish the interview, I was just gonna repost it um here on Instagram. It'll
Sounds
be
good.
it'll be good. Um yeah, how have things been? How's you're in Indiana right now?
Yeah.
Are you
Yep.
freezing?
It is pretty cold. I mean, it snowed on Monday, and it's actually been a very late winter for us.
Mm,
And like maybe 2 weeks ago, it was in the 60s and 70s, so it's a little strange, but but
yeah,
I don't mind it. You got to get warmed up every time you have to play, though. That's
yeah.
one thing that's a little strange. But yeah, how are you guys? How's Florida?
It's good. It's cold, man. I went for a run yesterday. It was like 30 degrees and my hands were not doing well.
I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
no, people are super excited to have you on here.
that's good.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here. I love all the stuff that you do on social media. It's
Thank
great.
you. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. And again, I mean, for everybody here, Tim's amazing, amazing pianist. And I've learned so much from him. He's when I first came to FSU, for my bachelor's. Tim was second year, freshman year. He was a second year master's student,
Hmm.
studying with Dr. Gainsford. And I think
Old.
I heard you play the Chopin second, the B flat minor sonata, the first movement in studio, and I was like,
Hmm.
whoa, whoa, that was insane. So that was
Yeah.
crazy. Um,
I I recently retired that one. I'm over it.
are you? Are you?
Just a little bit. But yeah. No, I feel old when you say that. Wow.
I feel old now too because I'm
Wait,
teaching.
aren't you you're now in that position, right?
Yeah, I'm teaching
You're
classical piano
yeah, wow.
with
Look at that.
with Christy, as like
Cute.
as one of
All,
my like Christy's like my buddy, so I run everything by her.
all you little freshy babies now.
I know it's crazy. Can we see some piano performance?
Oh,
Somebody said, "Shut up, Tim."
that's
um,
typical.
Tim. So,
Thanks, Claire.
Tim, first question.
Yes.
What inspired you to start playing?
In the like at the beginning.
Yeah. All right, you can take it however
Oh.
you want.
Yeah, so my cousin, actually, she's about 10 years older than me. Um she went to Juilliard, and I actually saw a piano recital of hers when I was super young, and I heard her, and then I was like, I want to do this. I didn't really settle on classical piano. I just knew like music was going to be a huge part uh of my life, but that was maybe 7 or 8 years old, and then
Mm,
um, I didn't really settle on piano as like the thing I wanted to do until I studied with Gainsford. Um, Before that, it was just kind of a ton of different musical activities, band, jazz, pop music, all that stuff. So
so growing,
yeah.
so growing up, were you like, were you playing sports or were you doing anything else, or is just like mainly music focused?
Um, when prior to high school, I did all kinds of stuff, activities, and I played baseball, ran track, and all that kind of stuff. I was a soccer player. I wasn't like a Braden level soccer player, but I did play a little bit.
I
Um,
mean,
but yeah,
yeah,
once I hit like high school, it was kind of all music from there. So
yeah.
yeah.
And too, that's one of the things that I love, like about when I was, when you were here in person and when we interact, it's that there's just great passion, and
Hmm.
for the music, and it
Hmm.
in a sense that it's not just about how you speak about it, but how you embody it. It's really refreshing. Um, the other thing I was gonna say, Tim, is the other question I wanted to ask you, I want to see how you respond to this. If you could only perform three pieces for the rest of your life, what would you choose?
I would play Kreisleriana by Schumann.
Okay.
Probably Brahms something. Brahms, maybe the concerto, second concerto, or first,
Yeah.
either one. One of the Brahms concertos. And then, wow. Um, hmm. Oh man, like for the rest of my life, only those pieces.
Yeah. If
I
you were
should
to
choose something super, like super long, like Art of Fugue or something.
what you like
Or,
Bach more now, or
yeah, Bach is great. I think you had said something about a piece that scares you the most, and
yeah.
Bach, anything by Bach is anything that's exposed. So like there's these like the classic like Gaspar and uh Rock 3 and all these like really big piano pieces. Um I feel like those aren't as scary as things that you have to lay yourself bare for them, like anything by Bach or anything where you have to do more with less. Uh
Mm,
so like I was thinking about Kinderscenen, the Schumann set,
mm.
children's pieces. Like I would be much more scared to play something like that in public than I would to play like Gaspar or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just because there's nowhere to hide. Nowhere to hide.
You can't be hiding out here.
That's right.
Oh, the
Those
amount of
music
times I've made
puns
that joke. Oh gosh,
can't be hiding.
can't be hiding. Um,
Cute.
Tim, what would you say if we're gonna look at like lessons that you've learned?
Hmm.
What would you say would be your biggest lesson during your undergrad years, or maybe just like pre-undergrad to undergrad area?
Well, I mean, everybody's experience is different. I think I spent my undergraduate degree playing catch up as far as actually physically playing the instrument
Hmm.
goes. So I was very lucky to have a teacher like Reed, who, um, he can kind of do that. He can take someone and just build them up from the ground. Um, and so I was super hyper focused on that, I think, for those 4 years. And the thing that I was consumed by was work now, like work now and reap the benefits later. I guess that would be the attitude that I had at that point. Um, and like as I progressed through my degrees, priorities have shifted. Um, and you learn different things based on what you're ready to learn.
Hmm.
So right now I'm in the professional world. I'm kind of out of the student mentality. um, and one of the things that was super important for me to figure out in my doctorate was that your schooling serves you, as you're not a student that should be serving the school. It's You're paying for an education. The education serves what you want to do. And of course, that's really hard if you don't know what you want to do, and it's okay if you don't know what you want to do. Um, but it's kind of a mentality switch that I had to get through in my doctorate, especially. Um, and masters kind of paved the way for that to happen. I think I started to, and you're probably also feeling this. There's
Yeah.
some degree of separation now between you and you're also working. You're not just in class. You're not just in lessons. You're also engaging with music in a different way. Um, so yeah, it's an important thing.
Yeah, and I feel like the that's so interesting. I feel like the whole landscape is changing with social media and just the way that entrepreneurship, and I don't know, it's changing a lot,
Mm,
especially with COVID too. But um,
hmm
so
Well, I will say, sorry, I don't
yeah,
mean to interrupt you. I think one thing to keep in mind is that there's no such thing as like a traditional track anymore. There's no such thing. Like it's not, maybe for the elite few, like once in a generation or something. But um, I've I would encourage everybody to just do as much as possible all the time. And like, it's not about, you're building your career based on the projects that you're doing right now, and your career will build from those. But if you go in with the, like, or I must have this professorship, that's just, you know, it's it's not likely. And the people who do get those jobs have done lots and lots of other stuff before they got those jobs. And so, especially if you're coming right out of school, now is the time to be just like, reach out to all your colleagues, everybody that you know, and do as much stuff as you can. Chamber music, teaching. There's tons of creative people, use your friends' ideas too. But
yeah, no, I love that.
Why not?
I love that.
Why not?
One question I always like to ask people like you, and everybody I've had on, like, interviewing, is because I know a lot of people look up to you all and the people that I've interviewed. And I was wondering, what advice would you give to somebody who is looking to study music in college?
Yeah. So somebody who's just starting out and wants to.
Yeah, so maybe somebody like
14,
15, 13, 12, that area.
Yeah, I have trouble with this one. I think you're not. Let me think about it. Hold on.
No, take your time.
Yeah, you're not there to prove yourself to anyone. You are there to learn, and that's what you should do. I don't know. That's
so
terrible
good.
advice, but I don't know. It's. I mean, we get wrapped up in a lot of different things, especially in music school, and it's very easy to think of it like it's a sport, like you have to be better, or I think it's really important to get over that as soon as possible. Like everybody's gonna have that competitive, like I need to make sure or even that twinge of secret jealousy or that little stab of like, ooh, that person did this better than me, or ooh, they got that. Like getting over that as soon as possible is, I think, probably one of the most important things you can do. So if someone's starting out and they're really ambitious and motivated, I would just hope that they go to not lose track of that. Yeah. I think you froze. Did you freeze for a second there?
Yeah, let me turn my Wi-Fi. Yeah, that's so interesting. Because what we were when you were at FSU, we were talking about how we all have insecurities. We're all insecure about something. And so it's not like,
most definitely,
it's not if that person's insecure, it's just like figuring out what they're insecure about, right? And if they've worked on it, if they've processed through it.
Yeah, and not with the expectation that those things are going to go away, because they'll never do. You just have to figure out how to live with them and recognize them, and it's like anything else in life. Not that I'm some like wise sage that can do all this perfectly. Everybody's on the same path,
Yeah.
I struggle with it as much as anyone else.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Same here. What piece scares you the most? But I know we talked generally about types of pieces, but if you could pick one per se, what would you say?
I don't know. I mean, scares me the most. I think. I mean, I think the hammer clavier scares me the
That
most,
piece is scary.
but I don't know. I think it's because I would have a really hard time figuring out how to make it sound good because it's so long, and there are lots of parts that don't sound good.
Shout out to Beethoven.
Yeah,
Oh my
sorry.
gosh. Yeah, that
Oh, I
piece.
forgot. I forgot you were posting this afterwards. Now everyone's gonna think I'm like
No,
a
no,
hack.
no, 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 no. I actually feel a similar way about that piece.
I don't know.
Out of all the
That's
late
just me.
sonatas, I feel like if you want to call them late, I don't know. I feel like 109 and 110 are probably my favorite, and then
Hmm.
101. I like 101.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's how I feel, but I know because like I remember listening to you playing 110, and I was like, "Whoa, that's crazy! That piece is so good."
Yeah. You play it right now too, right?
So I played
Or
it for auditions for masters, but now I'm working
nice.
on the Volcstein.
Hmm.
Oh, Tim, I was gonna
Very
ask
nice.
you, what pieces are you working on now?
I just finished a lecture recital on Schumann symphonic etudes. So I was playing that, and now I'm learning Liszt, the transcription of Norma, um, and
Hmm.
Prokofiev's Sixth Sonata. I have a recital, my last recital coming up for doctorate. Eight
When
recitals at IU.
when is it, Tim?
I'm
You want
doing
to?
the eighth recital. No, it's in the spring.
Okay,
I'm not. It's a little while ways. Not going to plug myself here.
we'll
But
promote it
actually
later.
doing. Yeah, right. When it gets closer. No, but I've been doing a lot of chamber music actually, which has been nice. Like duo piano and um, branching out a little bit. So that's been fun.
Yeah, and so you IU, right? So you have eight recitals.
Eight recitals.
Oh
Yeah,
my! Wow,
I know.
wow. What?
I
So
know it's like an infamous degree for taking forever to finish.
yeah.
That's yeah.
So what would you say are like we kind of talked about undergrad. What would you say were your big takeaways from masters?
For my master's, I learned how to manage my time better because I was working a lot.
Hmm.
Um, and so I had to figure out how to well, also I learned to engage as a professional and not as a student, like to be in the professional world. So I was playing gigs and I had to do invoices for these gigs and request payments and know how much I was worth for different services that I provided and stuff like that, which became very useful later on when I was in a new place like Indiana. So that was like my main takeaway, I think. I also went through a bunch of this on the performance side of things. I went through a bunch of like Zen and performance anxiety sort of things, and the best book I ever read for anything ever. Anybody
No, it
is looking
froze.
for some. Oh no, did
Yeah,
you
can you
get?
repeat it?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Oh, it's a secret. I'm not going to tell anyone.
yeah.
It froze on it, I got censored because nobody is supposed to know. No, The Art of Possibility, greatest book I've ever
Interesting.
read. I've always recommended it to all my friends and in music especially.
We read Zen and the Art of Archery.
That's a great book.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was so
Not
good.
it has yeah, they're very different.
The Art of
But
Possibility, though.
yep,
Yeah,
very good book.
yeah, and I don't know. There's just so many things to talk about. I love what we've been doing recently. Like I've been seeing a lot of your posts on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. I've been trying, so I'm terrible at social media.
Same,
I mean, no, you are not.
dude.
That's not true at all.
It's a
But
lot.
yeah, I haven't figured out how to like to use it usefully in a way that doesn't stress me out. So I constantly feel so for a while, basically, I decided I would post once a week, and that was working pretty well. And then the holidays happened, and I stopped. But it was nice to kind of share some of my performances, and I have a relationship with my music making where right after I do it, I think it's terrible, and then I'll come back to it later, and they'll be like, "Oh, okay," less critical eyes and ears are a little kinder, I guess.
Yeah.
So
I found scheduling social media to be scheduling it out in my head, or I used to do it on paper, but I think, yeah, because you saw I used to post every day on Instagram, and it's just, I don't know. I don't think it's really, from what I've seen from people posting every day. To me, it feels like it can be a bit much sometimes, And that's just, and again, I'm calling myself out. If anything, I'm not attacking anybody at all.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just been my experience, and it's like it just needs to breathe a little,
Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of things that talk about what the ideal social media posting count is and all that stuff. Honestly, my relationship with social media at this point is that I don't have it on my phone. I have it on my phone right now, so I can do this live thing. But I need space for myself
We
to
do, yeah.
be sane and yeah.
Honestly, I don't even know if I've talked about this, if I said anything like this on Instagram, but I'm not a huge fan of social media, honestly. Like, I know that sounds like
says the guy who
yeah, it sounds like a weird thing to say, but it's
social media guy.
It sounds like a weird thing to say, but I'm at the point where I like you, maybe in a different form, but I just want some quiet space.
Yeah, well, there's a difference between being a consumer and a creator on social media, and that was one thing that I had a colleague that will go unnamed that was very ambitious in on their social media, and they were saying, "Oh, you use it as a tool," and this person never actually used social media for the connective qualities. It was all purely just commercial. And so, if you do that, I think I could see where social media is just it's not exhausting, it's nothing. It just is, it's like a marketing tool.
Right.
But I have an addictive personality, so I can't do that.
Yeah, same.
If it's there for me to scroll, I will do it, and I'll do it well.
Do it well.
Yeah.
Hey, Tim, is it okay if we open up questions for you?
Yeah, sure. If anyone has questions.
Yeah, type it in the chat.
I don't know if I have any useful things to say, but
oh, Tim, this was
I'm happy to say things.
This whole talk was just so helpful and so insightful. I feel like every time I talk to you, I learn 5 years.
Because I'm old.
Because you're old and sage.
I've made all the mistakes, and yeah.
That's funny. I mean, that's funny you said, it's just a learning. It's just learning rather than proving. It's just about learning. I think that's so true.
And having a direction for your learning too. I think, in my undergrad, I was really obsessed with making sure that I was really good at school. Fave composer and fave piece. Favorite composer depends on the time, when you ask me. Right now, my favorite composer is Schumann, and I think Kreisleriana is probably my favorite piece. But if you'd asked me yesterday, I might have said I was listening to a lot of Scriabin yesterday. So I don't know. I don't think I have a go-to, whereas I'm just this is my guy or girl.
My homie.
or non-binary. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any. Um, but but yeah, I was just saying like in my undergrad, I was doing so much school where I was focused on like you need to get an A, you need to have, you know, um, you need to have all your ducks in a row. Uh,
Mm,
that I kind of lost track of why I was doing it in the first place.
mm,
And yeah, when I got to my doctorate, that's when I was really like, okay, I'm a professional now and I'm in school to learn, but it's not like the only thing I'm doing. Um, and I think that's super important
mm.
to do at some point.
Yeah, this was
Yeah.
so good, Tim. Thank you. If
Yeah,
anybody
I know you
has
got to run, but
Yeah, if anybody
I'll
has
flip
remaining
it to you.
questions, just let's take a couple more. Because Tim
Mm.
is dropping gems over here.
Oh yeah, just the wisdom just pouring out of me, honestly.
Tim, cracking me up. Are you going home for the holidays?
Probably. I don't know. I have some gigs, so you know how it is.
Oh yeah.
We don't, I mean, you get a church gig and then you're not going to be um you're not going to be going home before Christmas Eve because they have a Christmas Eve service. What is the first performance before and after? Oh gosh. My first conscious performance. I feel like when you're a kid and you're performing on stage, it's like nothing can phase you because it's the most enjoyable thing to do in the world. And then you reach an age where you realize that there are consequences for getting on stage in front of a lot of people, and then somehow it's just terrible. Um, and like I love watching performers who never left that like kid version of performing where they get up and it looks like it's the most enjoyable thing they've ever done. Um, like Trifonov is one of those people where he goes on stage and when you listen to him talk about performing, he's like, oh, I go on stage and I'm sharing. Look at this is inside of me and it just has to come out.
Hmm.
And I've always been very jealous of that sort of experience because that's not mine. I have terrible nerves, and I said earlier that
Same.
I went through a whole like performance anxiety, like figuring out my performance anxiety thing. Um, so I think afterwards is always a relief, even if it went poorly. But before it's very different depending on the situation. And this is only my personal experience, but I am always nervous. It doesn't matter if I'm playing for like three people in a small room, or if I'm, playing at Carnegie Hall. I'm always nervous, and I'm always like, I have very certain specific tics that I had to get used to, and have strategies for. But shaking is one. I will always shake when I play no matter what, and I will always get really sweaty hands. So I always feel bad for the person who uses the piano after me because it's always soaking wet.
Oh my.
But it never goes away. You got to deal with it somehow.
Let's take
How do you
yeah.
keep? Yeah.
Answer the
No,
following
no,
two.
you
Yeah.
don't have. Okay, sure. Beethoven or Mozart? Um, Beethoven. I think Mozart uh, is pleasant.
Pleasant.
No, I love playing. Cut out for a second. I love
Yeah,
playing Mozart, but Beethoven is the guy for me. um,
the
how do
guy.
you keep focused? That's a great question. The focus one. I'm not the best person to answer the question because that's something that I struggle with for sure. Um,
Same though.
I think what?
I said same
What'd you
for
say?
real.
Yeah, um, I think you have to practice focusing in the practice room, like as if you're on the stage. If the first time that you're like in that hyper focus mode is when you get on stage, you're gonna be in trouble.
Mm.
So I kind of uh, I will practice being in the mindset of sitting on a stage, like while I'm in the practice room, and pretend like I'm getting all the emotions that I will get when I'm on stage. Because for me, everything's heightened when I'm on the stage, which means nerves and everything else. So I try to practice that because, especially if you're getting into a long piece, like I played Brahms second, and that was 52 minutes long, and after the first movement, it felt like I had just played an entire concert, and then I had to play three more movements. So I had to practice run-throughs the whole week before. It's like multiple run-throughs per day, where I'm just practicing. It doesn't have to be exactly how you're going to play it. It's just you have to recreate that feeling, or at least I had to. Yeah, that's my best advice.
Yeah, Tim, thank you so much. Honestly, thank you.
Of course.
Um,
Thank you for inviting me.
yeah, of course. I'm gonna repost it here on Instagram, and then I'll text you to get your email for
Okay,
the external
sounds
cam
good.
over here, and I'll send that to you.
Great.
All right,
Well, it
thanks,
was really
Tim.
nice to chat with you.
Good to talk to
Okay.
you. Good to see you.
All right.
Take care.
Bye. Bye, everyone.